where Seattle's really awesome. So we're at the Space Needle. I'll show you. Ta-da! I wonder what subliminal conditioning Space Needle means. I don't know. Alright, so we're just gonna do it. We figured we hit it because it's pretty infamous, and then we'll go to the downtown market tomorrow. We're gonna do the best we can. We got the best speaker that we can. What's up, bro? Shalom. Oh, actually, I need to get the microphone set up. I'm gonna put the microphone on. What's up, everybody? You got the one that's plugged into the black thing. Yeah. Oh man, I'm so nervous, guys. Yeah, we looked at every Best Buy within 250 miles for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles, and none of them have that speaker that they stole. Bunch of clowns. But it's all good. What's up? What's up? Give me like a minute. Oh, Ted, you used to live in Seattle? What's up, bro? Just keep blasting, brother? Yeah, of course. You got to. Somebody's got to do it. If the city that's all about defund the police got police harassing me, that's going to be hilarious. That'll be hilarious, bro. Why didn't you get your speaker back? They won't give it back. What do you mean? They get to steal your stuff and then not give you a court date because they know they messed up. So they just get to keep your stuff. Duh. It's America, we're free. They got people on your server running around talking about how I deserve to get arrested. Well, whatever. This city is a trip, yo. I'm not gonna lie to you. Testing. You guys gonna give me a feedback? They won't give you a court date, not from Mount Rushmore. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? In a world. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Seems good. Alright, cool. We're good. I hear the hyenas already. Alright, we're gonna get into it. Hopefully the quality's not too bad. In a world. In a world. Oh hey, how's everybody doing? Glad you guys got to come out so we could teach you about the earth today. So, we were all told the earth is a spinning ball in a vacuum. In the middle of nothingness, where we could get hit by an asteroid, and people landed on the moon in 1969. But the truth is that the moon landing was fake, and the Earth is not a spinning ball. That's a lie. The Earth is actually stationary, and, are you ready for it? It's also flat. That's right, the Earth is flat. The Earth is flat. I thought it sounded crazy too. We have mountains, we have valleys, it's a topographical plane. The Earth is provably not a ball. Because if it's a ball, like they taught us in school, then it has to curve at a certain rate based on how big they said the ball was. It's called geometry. So everyone here immediately is in this intellectual high ground over me where I'm the stupid one and they can make fun of me and yeah, cool story, bro. But anyway, what we do is we travel the United States and we offer everyone $100 cash. All you gotta do is answer 3 questions correctly about the globe Earth. And I'll even tell you what the first question is. How many times does the Earth supposedly spin every 24 hours? How many times does the Earth rotate every day? If you get that question right and then 2 more questions correct, you win $100. No strings attached. You don't gotta pay to play. You don't gotta pay if you get it wrong. The reason we do this is because when I say the earth is not a spinning ball, it's actually flat, and they lied. Everyone laughs at us and makes fun of me and calls me stupid, right? But no one knows anything about the earth. No one. No one knows anything about it. So if you do know something about it, I'm going to ask you 3 very basic questions about it. If you get it right, you win $100, right? The supposed model, I'm so crazy for not believing it. Because if you haven't learned the model yet, much less studied it, dissected it, actually tested it, measured the earth, saw if it was true, read NASA's website, dissected all of the pictures they say are from space. If you've done none of that, but you already preemptively know that I'm crazy, but you don't actually know what I'm crazy for not believing in yet, that seems a bit unfounded, doesn't it? It's kind of akin to you telling me that the Bible is the truth. You just never read the Bible yet. I know the Bible's real, I've just never read it. So, hopefully those don't just sit there. In a world. Better account for the earth spin or you're gonna wreck. Alright, so everyone here thinks it's crazy when I say the earth is flat and that NASA lies and takes $60 million a day and they're lying to your children and brainwashing them and telling you that you're a tiny speck of dust in an ever-expanding universe of nothingness and you're just a tiny grain of salt, effectively, and there's a tiny grain of sand in this ever-expanding universe of nothingness and you just happen to pop up here and then you came from apes, right? And when I say that's not true, I'm the crazy one. So, again, we offer $100 cash to anyone that can get 3 questions right about the globe earth. Don't be intimidated, just come up, answer a couple questions. If you get them right, we give you $100. Very simple questions, elementary questions, things you should have learned in 1st or 2nd grade. And the first one is, how many times does the earth spin every 24 hours? Couldn't think of an easier question. If you get that one right and 2 more questions right, you win $100. But again, we've traveled the entire United States and what we found out is no one knows anything about the earth. No one knows anything about it. So, you know, they pretend I'm dumb and they make fun of me, but they literally know nothing about it. Nothing. I'd be aerospace engineers, astrophysics professors, but I'm dumb. Automatically, right? It's kind of like anyone that questions the norm must be dumb. Like, I guess the people that used to, you know, protest against the Vietnam War and all the people like, you're crazy. And then they're like, the government's trying to drag us into a war that we don't need to be in. We're protesting the Vietnam War. Everyone's like, you're crazy. The government's trying to take care of us. Right? You're a conspiracy theorist. And then people are like, you know they set the Vietnam War up. Our government did that. That wasn't real. They lied to us. You're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. Well, now the government's come out and admitted through their own documents that they were right. That actually they did set up the war with a false flag attack called the Gulf of Tonkin. They came out, told the American public that Vietnam attacked our ship, but they've since admitted we actually blew up our own ship and made it look like it was Vietnam. Right? So to dismiss information prior to investigation is the height of ignorance. So I'm going to tell you guys some stuff that I know you weren't told in school, which is of course funded by the government, so why would they tell you that they lied? And then we'll see what's really the crazy position at the end of this. So in 1945, the U.S. government did something called Operation Paperclip. This is where we brought Nazi scientists over here. You guys like Nazis? Yay for Nazis. We brought Nazis over here. The U.S. government brought Nazis over here in Operation Paperclip to work for the U.S. government. It was called Paperclip because they put paper clips in different folders to pick out the scientists they were going to bring over here. Anyway, one of them was Wernher von Braun. Okay, this is a German scientist. He was actually an SS officer for the Nazis. And we brought him over here, and he's the one that supposedly took us to the moon. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know the Nazis took us to the moon? I guess that's why we haven't been back. We're fresh out of Nazis. We'll have to wait for another totalitarian communist takeover before we can go back to the moon. Well, we won't have to wait too long. Look at America now. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, supposedly Nazis took us there. But Nazis would never lie, right? And you're not a patriot if you don't believe in the moon landing that was spearheaded by a literal Nazi. Anyway, Wernher von Braun. Oh man, what happened? Oh man. These guys are going to have to get this work. I just pull out the corded one, I guess. Because this one had died. It's the government, I know it. It's the CIA. I gotta get back into things. I had a couple people on the edge of their seat over here. They're super excited. They're like, whoa, whew, this guy's going to make me pass out. He's overloading me on information. I haven't gotten a proper oxygen intake all week.
But did he get permission to speak freely in this area? Yeah, bro, I got permission from Yah. Sorry, the microphone thing died and we couldn't use my headset because they stole the adapter in the speaker as well. Short intermission, technical difficulties. I know you guys have heard this. I got to go through the operation so they can kind of know what happened. You know what I'm saying? If you have anything that you want me to say specifically, hit me up. Oh, it's a Space Needle. I wonder if we'll have one of these come and save the day in the near future. If you know what I'm saying. Maybe the aliens will come visit us with some technological advances to keep us from getting sick or dying. I'm just saying, though. I'm not even allowed to talk about that either, bro. Love your calls, bro. Thank you, man. Much love. Tell them about the UN flag. Okay. Also, you're going to be in Seattle tomorrow, too. I'll come out. I'm close to that city, kind of. I'll make the drive. Yeah, we plan on going downtown Seattle tomorrow. Austin and Chris making sheepless in Seattle, too. That's pretty funny. Understandably, you have to be repetitive. Yeah. Thank you, Dave, for the compliment. In a world. I thought y'all were going to get off that easy. Not today. Okay, let's recap. The Earth's not a spinning ball. Supposedly, we proved the Earth was a magic cartoon ball in 1969. We went to the moon. Well, how do we get to the moon, you ask? Apparently, Nazis took us to the moon. And a specific Nazi by the name of Werner von Braun, an SS officer of the Nazi regime, is the one that took us to the moon. Something else that Werner von Braun did was he put Psalms 19:1 on his tombstone, which says, "The firmament shows the handiwork of the Creator." The firmament is the container over top of the earth. The scriptures say it's stretched out like a tent where grasshopper inhabits within it. It's impenetrable, strong as bronze. The earth is contained just like dozens of declassified military documents say there's a firmament on the earth, but I wasn't on CNN, so that can't be real. So Werner von Braun put that on his tombstone. The question is, why did the guy that took us to the moon put a Bible verse about a firmament that you can't get past on his tombstone if he took us to space? That's kind of weird. Something else he did was in the 50s, he wrote a science fiction book. Okay, in the 1950s, this Nazi that we're supposed to revere as some scientific genius and we're supposed to praise him for taking us to the moon, he wrote a science fiction book in the 50s, and the main character's title in this book is Elon. And guess what Elon does in the book? He takes everyone to Mars for the first time. Whoa! I guess that the Nazi was a prophet too, because now in 2021 we have Elon Musk about to take us to Mars. What a coincidence. Probably a coincidence. You can look up everything I tell you. So that's 1945, Operation Paperclip. We brought Nazis over here. The very next year, in 1946, the U.S. government did something called Operation High Jump. Now this is where they went and explored the Antarctic region. Okay? In case you guys didn't know, you're not allowed to go there. It's what would prove the Earth's a ball. You can shut this stupid flat earther up real quick. Just circumnavigate the Earth north to south and come back around the other side and prove it. Oh, never been done in the history of mankind. It's illegal to even try to do it. Probably another coincidence. Okay, so they went and explored this region in Operation High Jump the year after we brought Nazis over here. And it was spearheaded by someone called Admiral Byrd, a well-decorated admiral for the U.S. military. He came back on national TV after exploring this region for a few years. He says, "It's astonishing to me that there's an area as big as the continental U.S. on the other side of Antarctica that remains unexplored, has tons of resources, and no one knows about it." Well, guess what happened to Mr. Admiral Byrd? He died 3 years later, as did his son, was mysteriously found dead in a warehouse. Probably another coincidence. I'm a conspiracy theorist, and you're just a coincidence theorist. Okay, so anyway, in 1957 he died. In 1958, the year after they killed him, he died, right? They then founded NASA. They founded NASA right after he died. And then in 1959, the year after they founded NASA, they signed something called the Antarctic Treaty. And that's where every major world country in the world signed a treaty and said it's illegal for us, the average people, to go to Antarctica freely. Still intact to this day. Longest lasting peace treaty in modern history, and you've never heard of it. That's how you know I'm crazy, because you've never heard of it. Your logic's outstanding. Okay, so why did every major world country say we weren't allowed to go to Antarctica? I wonder what's out there. Interesting. So objectively and declassified by the U.S. military themselves, They went and explored the Antarctic region, came back, founded NASA, signed a treaty that said you can't go there, and it's still intact to this day. And it is what would prove that the Earth is this magic spinning ball. Now, a lot of people ask us, oh, well, you can go around the world. That proves the Earth's a ball. No, east to west circumnavigation, right, which is where you go around the world, happens all the time, almost every day. Works perfectly on a flat Earth, okay? The one that doesn't work on the flat Earth is north to south circumnavigation, because you come over this ice cap on the bottom of a ball they call Antarctica. Uh-oh, it's illegal to do it. No one's ever done it. Never will be done. You know why it won't be done? The Earth's not a ball. Dun, dun, dun. You can't go to Antarctica. Probably a coincidence that you should keep blindly believing the government as we have lockdowns and curfews, and we got to check the news to see what we're allowed to wear every day. Yay for freedom. We have lockdowns like prisons do. Yay. Let's just keep believing the government, though. That could never end poorly. Just billions and billions of people have died like that throughout the ages, but no, this one's different. This one's different. Okay, so that was in 1959. They signed the Antarctic Treaty. In 1961, JFK came out and said, we're going to go to the moon. This is where the boomers get excited. Nostalgia. Yeah, we went to the moon, damn it. What have you done, millennial? Just inherited trillions of dollars from you guys, but I digress. 1961, JFK, he said, we're going to go to the moon. We're going to be the first country to go to the moon. We're going to do that within 8 years. Okay, then JFK said a speech exposing the elites, and he got assassinated 6 months later after signing an executive order combating the Federal Reserve. Probably a coincidence. Number 400 so far. These are all coincidences. You know, because you can have repetitive coincidence. That's how it works, right? There's an oxymoron. So that's 1961. JFK says we're going to go to the moon. Well, guess what they did in 62? The U.S. military, all declassified, they started shooting missiles up in the air. High-altitude missiles started blowing up at different locations, and they couldn't get past certain altitudes. So they effectively mapped out the container of the Earth. Guess what this operation was called? Operation Fishbowl, and it was part of Operation Dominique, which translates to of the Lord. So literally, it's Operation Fishbowl of the Lord, 1962. You don't have to know any of this. All you gotta do is call me names. It makes me dumb. So JFK said we're going to the moon. They started shooting missiles up to see how high they could get. It kept exploding, and they couldn't get past the container. As is also declassified in the U.S. military documents, that there is a firmament, and that a Russian scientist had an approximation method to determine the brightness of the firmament, and it was proven accurate. But they're probably just making stuff up in declassified documents you've never read because it can't be real. It wasn't on CNN or Fox News, so this guy's crazy. Okay, so then again, JFK got assassinated, and then 1968, they came out with a movie called Space Odyssey, 2001, and it was about a moon landing. It won Film of the Year, most famous movie in the year of the time in the year, you know, of 1968, most famous movie. So they effectively brainwashed everyone with the movie, a propaganda movie about a moon landing. The very next year, in 1969, we miraculously landed on the moon. Another little interesting piece of information that's another coincidence, number 4,000, is that one of the astronauts that was supposed to be in the crew that originally was going to the moon, he came out and he told the American public, we're not going to the moon next year, bro. He said, we can't even get past low Earth orbit. We can't even communicate in our own buildings. There's no way we're going to the moon next year. He then hung a lemon on the module that was supposed to go to the moon. Well, guess what happened to him? He exploded, like just vanished, you know, died at a mysterious little routine checking of wires on NASA's facilities right after coming out and saying that. Oh, that's just a coincidence. The guy that came out and said, we're not going to the moon, he exploded on NASA's facilities doing a routine checking of wires where the door was oddly sealed where you couldn't get out from the inside, and they pumped all kinds of oxygen inside of it, which caused him to effectively burn instantaneously and burn to death. All of this is verifiable information. None of this is what you call a conspiracy. We didn't go to the moon, bro. You can't go to the moon. Well, no. Billionaires just went to space. So they admit that we can't go back to the moon. Did you guys know that? Is it 2021? So we went to the moon in 1969, but we still can't go back in 2021. And the official explanation, as I will quote Don Pettit, a world-renowned astronaut, he said, I'd go back to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is, we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. So they can't rebuild the technology we had in the 60s. And I'm the conspiracy theorist. I have an iPhone 12 Pro that's streaming this right now with better processing capability than an entire warehouse of computers in the 60s. But apparently we can't recreate rockets and do something we did effortlessly back and forth like 6 different missions in the 60s. You know why they haven't been back to the moon? Because you can't go to the moon. They never went to the moon. It was a studio film. That's it, in black and white. Oh, they miraculously called the president from 238,000 miles away with no delay on a landline. Okay, so the reason that's all very important, if you were paying attention, is because supposedly we went to the moon, we turned around and we saw this miraculous blue marble planet called the Earth. That's when we proved definitively the Earth is a spinning ball in space, because we saw it. Now you can actually go to NASA's website, which you now have to use something called the Wayback Machine, which shows you the URLs prior to them changing them. And because we caught on to the fact that that infamous Earthrise photo on NASA's website was actually photoshopped, you could actually reverse the actual photo and see that it was photoshopped. The Earth was photoshopped into the picture. And now that we caught on, as people started researching and finding out that NASA lies about everything, they now changed their website. Unfortunately for them, there's something called the Wayback Machine where you can actually find out what the website originally said prior to being updated and changed. So you know, the way you know they really went to the moon is they can't go back. They went with Nazis and they had to Photoshop the pictures. That's how you know it's real. Now most people will say, "You're crazy, you think the Earth is flat? Wouldn't you fall off the Earth?" No, you don't fall off the Earth. Not one flat earther thinks you fall off the Earth. That's dumb. Can you fall off of a pond? Can you fall off of a lake? Can you fall off of a shore? No. So Antarctica is known to have the highest elevation in the world. It contains the Earth's oceans, and you can't privately go there. Now, what's beyond that? That's a good question. We'd all like to know that, but we probably have to get a lot of you guys to wake up. A good first step would be breathing the oxygen and stop obeying the government's curfews and lockdowns. That's a good first step. But if we could all wake up, then they would have to actually address what's there, because we have a right to freely explore. Most of you guys don't even know the Antarctic Treaty is a thing. They drew a circle around you called the 60th south latitude that stay in your little playpen, slaves. And the slaves don't even know the playpen exists. So of course it works. You stay inside your playpen. Now you just stay inside your house until they can tell you that you're allowed to come out of it. That's how you know you're free. Welcome to America, where my friends died so that we have curfews and lockdowns. Why is everyone wearing a mask? Did something happen? You guys are scaring me. Are we all going in for surgery? Could have swore oxygen kept me alive. I'm confused. This is weird. But Austin, you crazy flat earther, we have pictures of the Earth from space. They actually admit we don't have real pictures. They say it's impossible for us to get far enough away to get a high-resolution picture of the Earth in entirety. They're computer-generated images and composite images, but they don't tell you that when they show you the picture, quote-unquote picture, it's an image. So the blue marble was the default picture on the iPhones, right? It's the default wallpaper on the first generation of iPhones. The blue marble, the Earth from space, it's a ball. Everyone knows the Earth's a ball. You must be crazy if you don't know that. Well, they didn't tell you that that wasn't a real picture and it was actually a cartoon. But if you go to their website, they tell you, oh, this isn't a real picture. This isn't a real actual picture of the Earth in entirety. It's actually high-altitude pictures taken from 4 months, like cartography planes. We then stitch them together. We put it on a flat map surface. Then we wrap it around a theoretical sphere. We bring an artist in to do an artist rendition to match what the observer expects it to look like. The artist's name is Robert Simmons. He's quoted verbatim as saying, of course it's photoshopped, it has to be. So when you guys say, we have pictures of the Earth from space, you stupid flat earther, no you don't. And NASA agrees with us. You don't have real pictures of the Earth from space. This is getting awkward, isn't it? This is weird. This is weird. So they say 70% of the surface of the Earth is water, and water always finds its level, but not on the Earth. That's the one exception. The Earth's an anomaly. 70% of the surface of the Earth is water, and it's bending around the outside of a ball that spins in a vacuum. You stupid flat earther. Yeah, it's called fluid statics. Water always finds its level, which is why we put fluid in levels, which is why it's called sea level. It's the only way I have any elevation readings in the entire world. The only way you can do anything in the world is to assume it's flat. Did you know that you can't fly a plane without assuming the Earth is flat and stationary? Did you know that there are hundreds of declassified documents from the U.S. military talking about how they design planes and they have to assume the Earth is flat? And that when they shoot ballistic missiles, they assume the Earth is flat? And then whenever they got to find the bad guy, they got to use Cartesian coordinates centralized to their location, assuming the Earth is flat? And whenever they navigate, they have to assume the Earth is flat? Why does the military act like the Earth is flat? This is weird. Have you ever read the documents? Nope. That's how you know I'm crazy. Dismissal prior to investigation is the height of ignorance. It's also easier to fool someone than to convince them that they have been fooled. But if we don't wake up, it's going to get bad. I don't know if you guys have been here for the last 18 months, but Apparently the government tells us what we're allowed to do, when we're allowed to do it, and what we got to wear when we do it. It's called freedom, not curfews and lockdowns like prisons. You know, my friends that died and slowly bled out for my freedom? Apparently we're just going to throw that all away and we're going to give our children a slave state. No big deal. No big deal. Because the government, after decades of malevolent, subversive actions and lies, they've decided to put their bad tendencies aside and they want to save us now. That's what it is. The governments around the world have all decided to stop being geopolitical enemies and they want to all save us now. It's probably time that you wake up before it's too late. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but it's getting crazy out here. So anyway, yeah, they lied about the earth. I get it. It sounds crazy. I thought it sounded crazy, but you got to research it, bro. You got to research it. See, many people, they'll be uncomfortable about this and be like, well, does this matter? Who really cares? Why would they even lie about that? That's petty. Well, why would they not lie? If there's more land and resources we don't know about, would that be a good reason to lie? We give NASA $60 million a day, but the government would never lie for money, so we'll throw that one out. What about telling you that you're a tiny speck of dust in an ever-expanding universe and you came from apes because lightning struck primordial soup and rocks turned into fish that grew some feet that turned into rodents that turned into apes that turned into humans, and there's nothing special about you. You're basically just an ape that decided to lose some of its hair, and there's nothing special. You need to obey the government because that's your God. You're a tiny speck of dust in this ever-expanding nothingness. You're in a black void where you could get killed and wiped out by an asteroid like the dinosaurs were. Uh-oh. No way that they would ever want you to not know there's a creator, except that it literally makes you way easier to brainwash. So why would they lie? Why would they not lie? When do they not lie? How about, why did the government lie about weapons of mass destruction? Why did the government lie about the Vietnam War? Why does the government lie about everything? Why did the government tell you to be scared of the air? But just for 2 weeks, I mean 18 months, I mean forever. Why did the government lie about that? Why are you guys still scared of the air? This is getting weird. You're putting me in a real weird position right now. I'm the outcast because I breathe freely. What a clown world. The earth can't be flat, Austin. If the earth was flat, we would fall off of it. Well, no, you wouldn't fall off of it because Antarctica has the highest elevation in the world and it just contains the water, which is convenient because water always seeks its level and conforms to its container. So the oceans, waters of the world have to be contained, and Antarctica has the highest elevation in the world. It's effectively an ice ring around you and it's illegal for you to go there. You can't fall off. There's also a container. We don't know where it comes down. We don't even know how far the land goes out beyond that. Ancient maps claim there were continents all around this ice ring. Well, no, the earth can't be flat though because you would fall off. See, my Uncle Jimmy, he fell off the face of the earth is what my mama said, but she wasn't being literal. You stupid flat earther. What about the other planets? You think the earth is flat? What about the other planets? Well, planet just means wanderer. That's the etymology of the word. It's just another light in the sky, right? We just see lights in the sky and they all move east to west. You can't prove that they're terra firma, solid, spherical, and even if they were, it's like pointing to a light bulb in the ceiling and saying, look, the floor must be a light bulb. That's a non sequitur. There are lights in the sky, they all move east to west, and that's not what we're living on. We don't live on a light in the sky. We live on the earth, underneath the lights in the sky. Well, are you telling me that everybody in the world is lying? You must be a crazy flat earther. Everyone in the world must be lying. No, most people aren't lying. Actually, when the teachers teach that the earth's a ball, they believe the earth's a ball because they were told the earth's a ball with cartoons when they were 5, and they're just teaching the textbooks that they were taught. When someone works and they're supposedly working on satellites, but they just do one little aspect of it or build one little component, they don't have anything to do with the lie. They think the earth's a ball. A very few select group of people have to lie. And whenever it comes to the military, you're on a need-to-know basis. Actually, intrinsically within the government's job description, they have to lie. That's what the government means. The government has to, for national security purposes, compartmentalize information. So, of course the government lies. That's literally what the government means. It actually technically means to control your mind. That's what the etymology of government is. Probably just a coincidence, though. As you guys are still scared of the air, even though that's what keeps you alive. Just 2 more weeks and we'll get back to normal, ladies and gentlemen. Just 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks and we won't be a communist government anymore.
What about Operation Mockingbird?
Oh, yeah. Well, Austin, you sound crazy because my news tells me about how the billionaires went to space, and the news would never lie, and they're the ones that told me to be scared of the air. Well, actually, conveniently enough, there's something called Operation Mockingbird Declassified. The CIA has infiltrated the mainstream news for decades, and when you watch the news, you're watching what the CIA has written out in a script to tell you to control the public narrative. This is declassified. It's called Operation Mockingbird. That's correct, Operation Mockingbird. It's over 600 pages. Have you read it? Nope, but you know it's not real because CNN, the one that is the CIA, didn't tell you that they're the CIA. It's literally called Operation Mockingbird. In fact, when a CIA representative was asked about this in Congress, they said, so are you saying that the news anchors are CIA agents? And the CIA representative said, we need to continue this conversation behind closed doors. Yeah, you're watching the news every morning, you're watching the CIA. Objectively, it's declassified. When you watch the mainstream news, whether it be CNN, MSNBC, ABC, Fox News, you name it, you're watching the CIA. You're watching the CIA. And they admitted it. They said they had to control the public narrative for national security purposes, so they had to infiltrate the mainstream media. And this was in the 70s. Yeah, it's been 5 decades since they started their little project. Hence why all you guys wake up every morning and you go ask CNN what you're allowed to wear for the day and what time you have to be in the house and where you're allowed to go. Looks like their operation worked out pretty well, didn't it? But the CIA would never lie. They're just here to help us, except they're the #1 trafficker of drugs in the entire United States. Outside of that, I mean the entire world. Let's not undermine their credit here. They're the #1 traffickers of drugs in the entire world, the CIA. That's right. In case you didn't know what the Vietnam War was about, it was about actually getting all of the heroin and the opium from the Himalayan foothills. Probably coincidence. But no, Vietnam was for freedom. You know, because Vietnam attacked our ship and we had to go fight them. Oh, never mind. The government came out and admitted we blew up our own ship, made it look like it was Vietnam, came and lied to the American public so they would support the war. And it was actually a false flag, Gulf of Tonkin, declassified. But that's the only time the government lied. Outside of that, they love us. That's why they're giving us curfews and lockdowns like prisons to keep us safe. If you guys don't wake up, your children will literally grow up as slaves. Just so you know. Speaking of, you know who else used to have to wear masks? You guessed it. Slaves. I guess that even though we were supposedly going to overcome the atrocity of slavery and we abolished it, I thought we were supposed to be overcoming racism and slavery. I guess now we have equality of slavery. Well, we now get our dress code from the government every day. I wonder if the government will let me breathe today. I don't know. I'll have to ask them. What a clown world. Thank you, Daddy Government, for keeping us safe. Wear one, don't wear one, wear 3. Wear a hazmat suit. Actually, the only way you won't die is if you put shackles on your feet and bark like a dog. You guys would do it. I can't get too specific. I'll literally get kicked off YouTube because, you know, that's how it works. Whenever you're just helping everyone out, no one's allowed to question you or they forcibly get censored and kicked off and fired from their jobs. That's how you know they're not hiding anything. I can't read a medical journal word for word on YouTube. It gets deleted. That's how you know they're telling you the truth. Yeah, let's stay organic, homie. Hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. That's all I can say. And again, just in case you're new to hearing me right now, the earth is not a spinning ball. The earth is flat. That's right. Kyrie was right. That's right. B.O.B. is right. The earth is provably flat. You can measure it. We proved it. You can see mountains from hundreds of miles away on the globe earth map that have been blocked by miles of earth curvature, yet you can see all the mountains. How's that work? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The earth is provably not a spinning ball. Provably. In fact, utilizing sextants on navigation charts for decades and decades and decades, and longer than that, prove the earth is flat. Planes prove the earth is flat. Ballistic missiles prove the earth is flat. Everything that works in the history of mankind proves the earth is flat. Anything for practical use that's ever been used, ever, has to assume the earth is not moving and that the earth is flat. Anything ever used. Anything the military uses. Oh no, it doesn't matter. I just got to make fun of this guy. It makes me smart. I might not know anything about this, but if I call this guy names, there is definitely a ball. There's something called the second law of thermodynamics. You cannot have pressure sitting next to a vacuum. They claim that space is a near perfect vacuum. The Globers will lose their mind here. I call them anti-flat earthers because they're just psychopaths. But they're like, it's not sitting right next to it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it has to meet it at some point. It has to turn into this magical vacuum at some point. No, it's gradual. Well, too bad the second law of thermodynamics doesn't have the word gradual in it. In fact, it has the antithesis of gradual in it. It's instantaneous. So I'm not going to try and go over you guys' heads. If you open up a soda, it goes, psh. That's because it's got high pressure in the soda and it's very tightly sealed. When you open it up, it equalizes to the lower pressure around it, instantaneously seeking equilibrium. You can't have high pressure without a container. Well, you guys are breathing oxygen, or about 30% of you guys. I guess the rest of you guys don't like it. Okay, well, oxygen is a gas. That's a gas pressure. The only way you can have gas pressure is if it's contained. It cannot be sitting next to a vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torr without a container. It's literally impossible. It's literally impossible. Yeah, space as defined is impossible. No, what about gravity? This guy's so dumb he doesn't know about gravity. Except I literally read the theory of relativity. Most people think gravity is mass attracting mass, which has been superseded for over 100 years. That is not even what gravity is defined as of now. Gravity is no longer considered an intrinsic property of matter. Mass attracting mass is over 100 years old, so you should learn your religion. It's now called the theory of relativity, general relativity by Einstein, which says gravity is the effect of the bending and warping of space and time. Okay? Never been proved. That's why it's called the theory of relativity. The only evidence for the theory of relativity is if we assume the Earth is a ball, then gravity has to exist because it's the only way a ball Earth could exist because it has to explain omnidirectionality. It's how you can stand on all different sides of the ball without falling off. It's what has to explain how trillions of tons of water are bending convexly around the outside of a sphere. That's the only evidence for gravity. How come when I let go of a helium balloon it goes up? Is the helium balloon gravity proof? No. The helium balloon goes up because it's less dense, it's lighter than the surrounding air. You know why you go down? Someone will come up to us and drop something and say, oh, you don't believe in gravity, you're stupid. Whatever you dropped was more dense than the surrounding air, and if you let go of a helium balloon, it goes up. Why does the helium balloon go up? Oh, because of buoyancy. Well, yeah, exactly. Buoyancy is literally because of density. Dun, dun, dun. And the principle of buoyancy long predates them hijacking it, coming up with an equation and putting a little g in it and saying that proves gravity. Which they don't even claim that. Most people don't have to know anything though, they just have to call me names. Actually, the little g represents downward acceleration, 9.8 meters per second squared. There's really no reason to get too technical because people don't want to know the truth. And honestly, this is a lot of information. You're going to have to relearn a lot that you were told. The truth is, everything in the world is electric. Electrostatic, to be specific. Everything. Rubber, glass, you name it. Insulators, things that are grounded, they're all electrostatic. You're electrostatic, your buddy's electrostatic, your backpack, your jacket, your jeans, your shoes, everything in the world's electrostatic. That water's electrostatic, air's electrostatic. Electrostatics is known to be 10 to the 39th power stronger than gravity even claims to be. That's 39 zeros, ladies and gentlemen. So if everything's electrostatic and it's 10 to the 39th power, which is 39 zeros, stronger than gravity even claims to be, and all molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature, how do you isolate gravity? It's never been done. It's never been done. When I say gravity's not real, people immediately think I'm crazy, and they know none of this. Gravity's never been isolated. It's called the theory of relativity. It's just a theory. So there you go. So let's talk about some basic observations we make day to day. And we'll see who exactly is the crazy one. So what I see is that the sun moves in the sky throughout the day. So you know what I say happens? The sun moves in the sky throughout the day. You know what the globe Earth says? The sun's actually sitting still, it just looks like that. And during a sunset, you're falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour, and it makes the sun look like it's moving while it's really sitting still, but you're moving and feel like you're still. That's a cool story. So if you ever watched the sunset, did you feel like you were falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour watching a stationary sun? I must be the crazy one. Whenever you see all the ocean water around the world is completely flat and horizontal and level, hence the word sea level, hence the word horizon, which comes from the word horizontal. Whenever I see that it's flat, you know what I say? The water's flat, because fluid statics necessitates water always finds its level, which is why we put water in levels. That's why it's called sea level, because water always finds its level. You know what the globe says? Well, it looks flat, but it's actually curving convexly around the outside of a sphere in a vacuum, and you just can't tell. And the horizon looks horizontal, but it's actually curving, you just can't see it. Oh, I'm the crazy one. Whenever I see the sun and the moon in the sky, and they look like they're the same size, you know what I say? The sun and the moon are the same size. You know what the globe Earth says? Actually, the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon. Just coincidentally, by cosmic chance, it's also exactly 400 times further away. So it makes the sun and the moon look like they're the perfect same size so that we can have total eclipses. What a coincidence! A Mars-sized body hit the Earth and transferred energy to its core and broke it up into thousands of pieces of debris, but just one piece stuck around and turned into the moon. And then gravity coalesced it into a perfect sphere over millions and millions of years. And then it stopped right where it needed to optically look like the same size as the sun, even though it has nothing to do with any of the phenomena or sustainability on the Earth. It's purely cosmic coincidence. I must be crazy. Yeah. Okay, in 2021, the best that the top scientists in the world can come up with the theory of relativity to try to explain the universe is off by 95%. It's called dark energy and dark matter. They can't even mathematically propose this fairy tale. They're off by 95% in 2021 with all the astrophysicists you can come up with. By the way, I debate them. And they get slaughtered. So what's up with that? How's that work? So if we can't mathematically propose it, how could you pretend you've proven it? Have you guys ever heard of the Hubble telescope? It was named after Edwin Hubble, okay? One of the top guys in this heliocentric religion, which is Helios, sun god, but I digress. Okay, so what he said was, it can never be disproven the earth is the center of everything. This is like a priest, okay? He's propped up in the heliocentric religion as a famous scientist, okay? Edwin Hubble, we literally named a telescope after him. A telescope, quote unquote. Okay, so it can never be disproven that the earth is the center of everything because there's equal dispersal in all directions relative to the earth. But we must avoid this possibility at all costs because it shows that the earth would be in a favored location. Whoa, what's so bad about the earth being in a favored location? Well, it's pretty simple, because if the earth's the center of everything, it had to be put there, someone had to put it there, something had to put it there. I guess this guy was just really scared of a creator. I wonder what this psychopath did, so much so that he was scared that maybe there's a God. That's not my problem. That's not how science works. Science doesn't work like all the evidence shows us the earth's the center of everything. It can never be disproven that the earth is the center of everything. The only way we can make any of our math work is assuming the earth is the center of everything. It's what all observations show us. We're going to dismiss that. We have no evidence for another theory that we're going to come up with, but we're going to try our best to figure that theory out and ignore the one that we have all the evidence for and can't disprove. Oh, how scientific. How scientific. If you say the earth's not flat, bro, then it throws out laws of physics. Hey, how do we see mountains from 273 miles away if the globe says it should be blocked by 3 miles of earth curve? Never get an answer around the whole U.S. You never will get an answer. There is no answer. I didn't see through 3 miles of earth curvature, bro. I looked over a flat body of water and saw the mountains 300 miles away. And you can do it too. We do it all the time. We have an observation 1 foot off the ground. Based on the globe earth map, the curvature of the earth should have been at 1.2 miles, 1 foot off the ground. You know geometry, a sphere. The closer you are to the sphere, the sooner you see the curve, right? It's called geometry. 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Anyway, from 1 foot off the ground, we saw a horizon over 10 miles away when it should be no further than 1 mile away. That would require the radius of a sphere be 264,000 miles. Well, they claimed it's under 4,000 miles. I think over 250,000 is a little different than 4,000 miles. Here's the tricky part. When we falsified the radius, it falsifies the whole model. The radius is the distance from the center to the edge of a circle or a sphere, okay? They say it's 3,959 miles. If that number's wrong, the entire model's wrong. Gravity uses that number. Day and night cycle uses that number. Distances on the Earth use that number. They could have never gone to space without that number. They need something called gravitational orbit to attain escape velocity. So you have to have the radius of the Earth and then the distance from the surface of the Earth to the rocket ship so you can have a radius of orbit. So every story we've ever told about space is a lie if that number's wrong. The entire model's wrong and crumbles instantaneously if that number's incorrect. And we have falsified this number. That is why in Congress they admit they sent a flat Earth because it's dangerous misinformation. You know why it's dangerous? Because it shows they're lying. And it actually shows that when you're arguing about Joe Biden, never mind, or Donald Trump, the psychopath that can't even keep his hands still, you are arguing about a government that's working with all the other governments because they're lying about the Earth. So they don't really get to divide and conquer so much easily, as easy as they do now. So why would they lie? Why would they not lie, bro? I don't really care if you want to figure out why would they lie. I'm telling you that they objectively lied. You can prove it. We have proven it. And you should probably just accept it. Dismissal prior to investigation is the height of ignorance. I don't expect you to just hear this guy talking and then throw your whole worldview out. You should research it, though. You should research. I thought it was the craziest thing I've ever heard. We have satellites in space, bro, you crazy person. Okay, well, get your little dumb phone out right now and Google satellites and go to images. Tell me who's crazy now. They're all cartoons. Literally, they're all cartoons. You can look them up yourself. I thought we had satellites in space, bro. I thought we had pictures of stuff from 1,000,000 miles away. This is getting awkward. We can't go back to the moon because they never went. You're not going to space, bro. Oh, what about Jeff Bezos? He just went to space. Really? Because they admitted there were still clouds at that height, and all I did was float for 4 minutes, just like a zero G plane. You pay $2,000, they'll take you on a zero G plane. You go up high, you fall back down. When you're free falling, you actually experience weightlessness for 4 to 5 minutes. Well, that's how long they experienced it, was 4 minutes. They admit they didn't even go to space, but all you gotta do is put space in the headline, and the sheep believe it. Billionaires are going to space. Done deal. What about Elon Musk? It's not just the government. I can believe that maybe the government would lie, but what about Elon Musk? He's my hero. He wants to put a chip in my brain. He loves me. That's a private company. Actually, they get hundreds of millions of dollars of funding from the government each year. Elon Musk is on record saying we would never have gone to space without the help of NASA. He had to give all access to all of his computers and all of his employees to the federal government. Dun, dun, dun. Elon Musk supposedly put a car into space. Did you guys watch that? But supposedly Elon Musk put a Tesla convertible into space. He said he just picked it off the lot and shot it into space. We got a problem with that because cars have tires, and they have tire pressure. You can't have tire pressure in a vacuum, guys. That's impossible. Also, you couldn't have the paint of the car in this vacuum of space with the heat of the sun. But anyway, how does heat transfer through a vacuum anyway? I digress. But here's the funny part. During the live stream of the car in space from Elon Musk, it actually glitches out, and you can see the studio. You'll never hear anyone answer these questions because they don't have answers. How is it that we saw it glitched out with the studio? If they're really in space, why did they show us the studio? So Elon Musk was asked about this. He said, why does it look so fake? And Elon said, well, you can tell that it's real because it looks so fake. Quote unquote. He doesn't even deny it looks fake. Well, they said they sent the car as is right off the lot, right? They did make one change though. They took the rear view mirror off of it. Well, you know why? Because when you film a movie, there's something called the fourth wall. You can only show the audience 3 walls, or they would see the director, the camera, the crew behind it. So if the rear view mirror was on that car, you would have saw the studio. That's why they took it off. Just another coincidence. You can't go to space. And so for years and years, I found out about Flat Earth 5 years ago, prior to immense censorship from the government because they love you. That's why they're protecting you from information, because you can't think for yourself. You just be a good slave. You'd be scared of the air too. It's past your curfew. The government makes decisions for you. But before all that, the number 2 research team terms and Google terms in the world were Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Right behind it was Flat Earth, and it exploded. It exploded. So for many years, we've been researching diligently, well, why does NASA always lie? Why does their hands go through microphones on the ISS? Why are they dropping stuff that free falls on the ISS? Why does your hands go through limits? Why does Don Pettit drink coffee and the coffee jumps up out of the bag? What's up with this? Why do stuffed animals pop out of nowhere? Because normally when you're telling the truth, you don't have to lie a lot. So anyway, since I've been in the beginning of this, I started looking into how many times NASA said they were going to go back to the moon, and they keep saying it over and over and over. Over and over. And so we debate with these Glovers, really anti-flat earthers. It's like at best. And they're like, no, they're going to the moon in 2020. They're going to the moon in 2022. They're going to the moon in 2024. And every time we tell them, they're not going to the moon, bro. You can't go to the moon. They're going to push it back again. They're going to keep pushing it back. They're like, you're going to see, you're going to look so stupid whenever they go to the moon. Well, guess what they've done every single time? Push it back another 4 years. They just now announced a couple weeks ago that NASA's pushing the moon landing back again. What a coincidence. You can't go to the moon. Guess what? When we get to 2028, the new date they've come up with, they're going to push it back again. Dun, dun, dun. Until they maybe say, well, it's too dangerous for humans to go. We're going to send robots, but don't worry, you can trust us. You can trust us. The robots will bring back some high-definition 5K. You guys don't think it's sketchy that NASA can't go back to the moon 50 years after they went the first time? And every time they say they're about to go, they push it back. They've been doing this since the 70s. We're going to go again in 4 years. I mean 6 years. I mean 8 years. I mean 12 years. I mean never. It sounds a lot like, oh, just obey our totalitarian orders for 2 weeks and we'll get back to normal. Never mind. I mean 18 months. I mean forever. You better get used to being scared of the air. It's the new normal. I can't wait until we can have a great reset. How kind of them. Yay! Yay for freedom, where it really means that you can't do anything unless the government's allowing you to do it. Are you guys just going to sleepwalk into the New World Order while your children walk into a slave state and never know what freedom is or never know what breathing oxygen is? No big deal. I can't get too specific. So to all the children that can hear me, question what you're told. Don't blindly believe anything. You are smart. Don't let people lie to you. Okay? Question and investigate everything. Do not blindly believe anyone. That includes me. Right? And when they tell you that you're insignificant and you're on this tiny speck of dust in a vacuum about to get hit by an asteroid, that's not true. You're very special. The Creator made you. You have a spirit. The earth's the center of everything, which means it had to be created. Now, what you want to do with it, I'm not promoting religion. I hate religion. I'm just letting you know, scientifically, there's not another viable option. The necessary antecedent to creation is a creator. The earth is geocentric. That means the center of everything. It's why all the stars reset for all recorded history around Polaris. which is the North Pole star, and that's directly over the North Pole, the center of the Earth, over the flat Earth. So if we're spinning and revolving around the sun and shooting through the space ball, the sun shoots through space 500,000 miles per hour, and the galaxy shoots 1.3 million miles per hour. As we go around the sun 66,600 miles per hour, as the Earth spins 1,038 miles per hour, then how come the sky resets perfectly for all recorded history for thousands of years around Polaris? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We don't have to answer questions. We just got to make fun of this guy. You're dumb. That makes the Earth the ball. Y'all gonna get this work at least while you walk by. The Earth can't be flat. You would fall off of it. Can you believe there are people in 2021 that think the Earth is flat and we went to the moon in the 60s? If you don't think we went to the moon, you're a communist. That was patriotism. We beat communism that day. How dare you not believe all the heliocentric pseudoscience? How dare you take away my childhood? How dare you? You can't have global warming without a globe. Oh, we're going to change it to climate change. Well, climate change, that's redundant. That's what climate means. This is getting awkward. Whoa, do climates change? That should probably mean the government can give us way more roles now. That's the only logical outcome. Because the temperature change is like the definition of a climate. No big deal. But we're going to have electric car charged that when they die, they got to go use the gas-powered cars to charge them in a diesel generator. That's how you know we're being efficient. Interesting. And all thanks to Elon Musk. Let's all hell Elon Musk. He wants to put a chip in your brain. I can't wait till he makes us superhumans. This guy's a hero. The genius Elon Musk that can't speak coherently. He gives Joe Biden a run for his money. That dude is a psychopath, and he lies about going to space. You can't go to space. Now he's coming out with robots. Now he wants to put a chip in your brain. Nothing's weird, though. Nothing's weird here. The government working with somebody who wants to put a chip in your brain just came out with robots. Seems legit. Seems legit. And by the way, just because I've already made you guys super uncomfortable and you probably already think I'm crazy, they're conditioning you for the mark of the beast. I know it sounds crazy, but whatever, bro. So there's a prophecy from thousands of years ago, and it says that in the end, they will make a one world government. It also says that you will have to take an identifier, a mark, to buy, sell, or trade, and that it will be on your wrist and be on your forehead. Well, let's look at the last 18 months, and this is probably all just a coincidence, and I'm crazy, you're just a coincidence theorist. So, the entire world shut down the same day. Sounds like they might be getting ready for a one-world government, but no. Oh, and the whole world came up with the same rules and regulations to give their populations. That means that we agree with China and Russia and North Korea on how to take care of what's going on right now. No big deal. The whole world shut down the same day. Then they told you that you had to identify yourself with a mask, one letter away from Mark, by the way. So you could buy, sell, or trade. And you're not allowed in the store unless you identify yourself with this identifier. And then you kept going in the stores, and guess what they started doing? Scanning your wrist and scanning your forehead to take your temperature. They are physically conditioning you to walk into a store like a good little robot and get scanned on your forehead. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, you can shop now. You had to scan your forehead. This is all just a coincidence, though. You must be a conspiracy theorist. They want a digital tracking system that's going to be worldwide and international. It cannot be faked. These little I can't get too specific. I'll get kicked off. Just know that they're coming out with a digital tracking system. And know that it's been in the works for years. And know that everything that's going on right now was predicted decades before this. The Rockefellers wrote about it. Event 201 tells you about it. In October of 2019, this entire last 18 months was predicted. And I literally can't get specific. This video will get deleted and my channel will be terminated. What a free country, bro. Which is why we're traveling the United States, trying our best to wake people up. Because if you want to be an adult and you want to go to sleep and you just think this is uncomfortable, so you just want to be a good little slave and you want to go in for your curfews, because the air only kills you past 10 o'clock, it comes out to get you. Whatever, bro. Okay? But there are children that are being raised up in a world now where they think curfews and lockdowns are normal. And they think that the government tells them what they're allowed to wear. They think that they're supposed to be scared of the air. They think they're supposed to get permission from the government to do anything and everything. Do you not care about children? Because you got to grow up free, so you're just selfish. You got to grow up free, so who cares about the children? They're going to grow up in a slave state. And by the way, they have developing immune systems, in case you didn't know that. I really can't get specific, which really just aggravates me, but it's probably for the better anyway. You have children with developing immune systems and developing lungs. Take it or leave it. We better check with the government, see if that's okay or not. So I'm just trying to wake people up. There are tons of lies. I know that the flat earth is a big one. It makes people uncomfortable. It sounds crazy. I thought it was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How in the 21st century do people actually think the earth's flat? What a bunch of psychos. I get it. You're going to have to put your pride aside and research it or don't research it. The reason that I talk about the earth specifically, it's such a big lie. It's arguably the biggest lie. You are forced to acknowledge that the earth is geocentric. And that means, how did it get there? That's for you to figure out. It also means that all these major world countries are working together to lie to you. They all signed the Antarctic Treaty, declassified, and said it's illegal for you to travel there. So whenever you look at the last 18 months, you see that all the governments are passing laws together. All the governments are giving you curfews. All the governments are putting you in your house and telling you to stay there. All the governments are going to start beep, 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 scanning your forehead. All the governments are telling you what you're allowed to take. There's no such thing as medical freedom in America anymore. Maybe it'll make a little more sense when you realize that for decades and decades, all of these governments have worked together. All of these governments know that they drew a circle around you called the 60th south latitude, and they told you to stay inside of it. And all these governments have planned this for a long time. There is no Russia versus China versus America. It's government versus people. There is no right versus left or black versus white. Race isn't even a real thing. I don't change race in the summer. Oh, we have different skin tones. Get over it. It's not a big deal. But if they can divide you with right and left, and Joe Biden and Donald Trump, both the psychopaths that can't even speak coherently, right? As long as you argue about stupid, trivial things, they keep you divided, and then you fall asleep, and you don't realize they're building a new world order right around you. And you should think about your children. Even if you don't have children, you should think about your nieces and nephews or your baby cousins. Really, you should think about yourself. You should definitely think about the children who are being scared of the air, and they literally don't know why. They haven't seen mommy and daddy's face for 18 months, but this is normal. Do we not care about the children? It's getting ridiculous. So our generation, I'm a millennial, whatever. Our generation has a lot of responsibility. We're going to make the biggest decision in history. And it looks like it got us with Fortnite and a small waist, pretty face, and a big bang on the gram. That's all we care about. So if we don't wake up for it's too late, it's going to get crazy, bro. I don't know, bro. I got to post a pic for the gram. I'm just trying to get on Snap, bro. I got to find a baddie. So, wake up before it's too late. We're just trying to help you out. I know that some of this stuff sounds crazy. You can find us on YouTube, Witsit Gets It, W-I-T-S-I-T, Gets It. You come up here and get a card, do the QR code. Probably be deleted soon. I've been kicked off PayPal, Venmo, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, heavily censored on YouTube. That's right, I've been kicked off PayPal, a processing company, for payments. That's how you know it's a free country. I can't even have a payment processing company account. No big deal. And if you guys support the government censoring me, congratulations, you're applauding the death of your freedoms. Because I don't know if you've ever heard of the Nazis, right? But there's this infamous story, and we're going to rock with the official narrative. All of history's a lie, but it doesn't matter. Okay? The official narrative, you ever heard this story? They came for the artists, but I wasn't an artist, so I didn't say anything. They came for the engineers. I wasn't an engineer, so I didn't say anything. They came for the electricians. I'm not an electrician. I didn't say anything. They came for the chefs. I'm not a chef. They didn't say anything. But then they came, and there was no one left but me, and they came for me also. So if you don't stand up for everybody else that's being persecuted, whether it applies to you or not, you will then also be persecuted. It's very simple. It's called divide and conquer. They're coming to get the people that damage the narrative the most. People like us, people that question the narrative and publicly, vocally stand up. We don't care about what everyone else thinks. Oh man, you're so cool, I'm in the in crowd. I hope I can wear my oxygen prohibitor so I can virtue signal. That makes me a better person. I just care what everyone else thinks. Whenever CNN says today, I gotta go regurgitate, it makes me smart. Right? We speak our mind and we stand up against the system. We are going to be the most persecuted. They've now come out and updated their domestic terrorist guidelines. Some people think that what's going on over the last 18 months is just a plot by the government to get power. They're domestic terrorists. Oh, isn't that interesting? If someone actually researches and speaks the truth, they're a terrorist. Welcome to America. And I know you guys probably got triggered with the whole Afghanistan thing. They showed you a plane that, we won't get into specifics, it's all fake, but whatever. Okay? And that's right before the 20th year anniversary of 9/11. That's also a coincidence. They're opening the wounds of the biggest domestic attack on American soil in history. But here's the truth, right? Obviously what they said about 9/11 was fake, and if you don't know that yet, you really need to catch up. Really need to catch up, okay? But the day before 9/11, the government came out and said that we're missing $2.1 trillion of taxpayer money. We don't know where it went, it just vanished. The very next day was 9/11. The very area of the Pentagon that money was documented got hit by a plane, so we lost all the evidence. Probably a coincidence. the same day as 9/11, the military was running a drill. Just in case someone hijacks planes and try to roll them into the tower, we're going to run a drill. The same day as 9/11, at the same time in the morning. That's why they didn't recognize the planes were off route, because they thought it was part of the drill. All declassified. You guys just don't research things. Just a coincidence. All just a coincidence. A paper passport popped out of a fire explosion and floated down to ground zero to show us where the bad guy was. How come everyone that's the bad guy always speak Arabic? This is a reoccurring theme. This is weird. Anyway, but the paper survived the fire, so we could go find the bad guy immediately. We knew who they were. There are weapons of mass destruction over there. We better go fight these guys. Oh wait, never mind. No weapons of mass destruction over there, but we're going to stay for another 13, 14 years. What's up with that? How come as soon as we leave, quote unquote, everything falls down? Because they weren't doing anything, dude. It was money laundering. Anyway, guess what they did after 9/11? They passed something called the Patriot Act. The most invasive... The most invasive... Oh, I see you, bro.
You're the man.
Thank you, brother.
Legend.
Much love, bro. I like that shirt. The most invasive legislation in history, the Patriot Act. And now they're using it. They have to show you in plain sight what they're doing. They just know most people are asleep. They drink lots of fluoride and eat GMOs and watch pornography all day and play video games, which just cripples their brain. And they don't know how to even consume information and interpret it anymore. But anyway, what they did was right before the 20th anniversary of 9/11, they came out and they told you they updated their domestic terrorism guidelines. Well, guess what the Patriot Act did, which was passed after 9/11? It said that these are new guidelines for terrorists, foreign and domestic. That's why now when you go into the airplane, on an airplane, you get basically molested. They're like, oh, beep, 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 oh, take this out, oh, you gotta do this, right? This is all started after 9/11. And now they look at domestic terrorism. They've just now updated their domestic terrorism guidelines to basically constitutionalists, those who think you still have free speech, those who think that the last 18 months is getting a little sketchy, those that don't like curfews and lockdowns and like to breathe oxygen. They're domestic terrorists. They've just updated it right before the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And no one knows what's going on, which is why it works. I'm going to take a break. If you have any questions, you can come up here with that. It's not a spinning ball, they lied. 9/11 was fake. The Vietnam War was fake. Your government isn't going to tell you if you can breathe oxygen. The government isn't going to tell you what you're allowed to wear, or if you have curfews or have lockdown. Stand up before it's too late. Stand up for the children. The Earth's not a spinning ball in a vacuum. I know it sounds crazy to some people, but the unopened mind will consider being weird. That's the way the Matrix has been engineered. Look into it or don't. But the reason you don't feel like you're spinning is because you're not spinning. The reason that the Earth always looks flat and water always looks flat is because it's flat. And the reason that the sky resets for all recorded history around Polaris is because the stars reset for all recorded history around Polaris. And they move over top of you, directly around the center star, directly over the center of the Earth, for all recorded history. Not that the stars are actually sitting still. Some of them aren't there, but they just look like they're there, but they're actually millions of light years away, or thousands of light years away. And really the Earth's spinning, you just can't feel it, so it makes the sky look like it spins. No, the sky spins. That's why it looks like it spins. Pretty simple. And you guys have the audacity to pretend that I'm crazy. That it's so hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Incredibly rich. But anyway, here's a geocentric being center of everything. Stationary, of course, meaning non-moving plane. Topographical plane. So the Earth's not flat like the concrete. You have mountains and valleys. It's a topographical plane. Only way the Earth could ever work. I'm taking a break, drinking some water.
What's up, chat?
What up, bro?
Now, dude,
How's it going,
your
bro?
tenacity and your courage is fucking unmatched.
Thank you, man.
I follow, dude. You were the shit, dude.
Thank you, bro.
And your chat is right. Their support for you, man, is well deserved, man. And people love you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
You are the fucking shit, dude. I've never seen anybody with such courage and tenacity towards anything, man. I had to come down here, dude.
Okay, you from here?
You're like fucking, Shoreline, right up here.
Cool, bro.
But yeah, Seattle, born and raised right here.
Right.
And the best place to know and prove that the Earth is not a ball.
Yeah, there's water everywhere.
Yeah, in landmarks and islands.
That's awesome.
In the ocean, dude. You don't plan to hang your hat anymore anywhere, do you, yet? Until you decide where you're gonna and what you're gonna end up doing, huh? Right?
Nope.
I've been talking to Chris quite a bit about how the places you guys have been and interactions at Rushmore. I've been there in '85, you know, right where you were standing, right where they fucking
got me.
Yeah, somebody just made a video about you. One of the Balltard channels just made a video about you with your lap. It says Flat Earth Professor gets arrested.
Yeah.
And the thumbnail is you.
I've seen a few of them, yeah.
I don't watch none. Dude, people believe that Simon fucking Biden, dude. Oh my, dude.
Yep.
Dude,
It's a joke. How long have you known about the Earth, bro?
Like we were talking, he said about 2015 for him, 2014, probably about the same time as me. Very similar to David Weiss. His story and his, dude,
he's the man. David Weiss is
unbelievable.
Yeah, bro.
I watch, dude, every day I go to fucking his interview on the FlatterPodcast.com.
Yeah.
I can't wait for his interviews.
Yeah, I know. He crushes, bro. And he's real chill about it. That's my homie, bro, for life.
Your knowledge, though, man. Oh, and when you showed up at his house, all of a sudden, boom, dude. I like he pushes your head in the intro to that.
Yeah.
You need to be a special correspondent on Global News Network.
That's pretty funny.
I would love to see you be a baller Austin.
What would be funny is I could be covering a news story on a location.
And trying to pretend that something is so fake real, dude.
Right.
I can't.
I can't do that for long, but I'll try.
Awesome at it.
Yeah.
He's, and he's one of the coolest people. I can only imagine you guys if you didn't have to do this and everybody knew the Earth was, we were special, created everything.
I wish.
What would you guys be doing? Is my question.
I would have lots of land and be making lots of babies.
Okay, yeah.
That's it, bro. I'd just be growing fruit and vegetables and have a bunch of animals and just make babies.
So much positive energy. Where would it be? Where should it be?
That's a good question, man.
Like Jared. Dude, what a cool fucking dude.
Yeah, we're gonna meet him.
I'm out of breath, yeah. Austin as a GNN correspondent sounds amazing. That would be pretty funny segments. I just don't like making commitments to shows.
Nobody's ever seen
I'm a real go with the flow kind of guy.
What's that gonna?
That's what I'm doing, babe. That's what I'm talking about, John.
How's that gonna?
You're awesome as usual. Thank you, Jack, man. How's it going, bro?
How does that work?
I know I disconnected from everything for a while, guys. I just had to kind of recharge everything,
Yeah, nobody's really.
So I'm with a special friend for a little bit. You feel me? Babies. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to make some babies.
I got invited on the podcast the other day because a guy read from my crew.
I'm about to tell him about the creator.
Local MMA podcast.
Put him on camera. I don't know if he wants to be on camera, bro. Hey, did you guys know that atheism is fake and there's not even such thing as atheism? There's not one real atheist in the world. Did you know the etymology of atheism is no deity, which means you have to say you know for a fact, 100%, that there is no creator. No one can say that. So there's no such thing as an atheist. I hate to bust your bubble. You may be agnostic. But just so you know, the Earth's the center of everything. It's geocentric. They lied about the Earth. You're not a tiny speck of dust going around the sun. The Helios God, heliocentric model. The Earth doesn't move. That's why you don't feel like it's moving. The sky resets around Polaris. That's why it's the center of everything. If the Earth's the center of everything, how did it get there? The necessary antecedent to creation is a creator. Antecedent is just a fancy word for requirement. That means that the Earth was placed here. Okay? Which means you were also created. Humans have domain on the Earth. That's the center of everything. It's geocentric. By the way, Edwin Hubble actually seems to disagree. You ever heard of the Hubble telescope? He said it can never be disproven that the Earth is the center of everything. That's interesting. So just Google time-lapse of star trails. You'll see they all do perfect circles concentrically around Polaris, directly over the center of the Earth for all recorded history for thousands and thousands of years. So anyway, there's a creator. And the creator loves you. And actually, this is where a lot of people check out and get triggered, but the scriptures are true, but heavily messed with, okay? Specifically the Torah, verbatim from the Creator. Religion sucks, though. Religion sucks. That includes Catholicism, Baptists, you name it. All religion is man-made doctrine used to control people, to divide people, to claim they know everything, okay? Well, the truth is that the Creator's real, and not only is He real, He's personable. He loves you. He knows that you have a spirit, and He cares about you, but you're free, bro. So if you want to pretend you know that He's not real, you want to pretend you know nothing matters, you can do that. But He still loves you. His name's actually Yah. That's the poetic abbreviation. Yahuwah. Some say Yahovah, right? But that's why you say Hallelujah all around the world for all recorded history. That's what the Yah means. That's actually the Creator's name. My whole point is that He loves you, bro, okay? You don't have to turn to men. You don't have to worry about what they have to say. Because men mess up everything. You don't have to go to some building called a quote-unquote church where they worship on sun worship days when the Sabbath's actually called Shabbat and it's on a Saturday. Or you go on Sunday, the first day instead of the seventh day because they invert everything. So instead of the last day, they change it to the first day. Then you have to go talk to some dude that's wearing a suit and a tie and he says, give me your money so I can get a new Bentley. That's not have anything to do with the Creator. Okay? Religion sucks. Churches suck. right? They've changed the different definitions of the words. They've changed the Hebrew. They've changed all the translations. They come up with like 50 different translations. It's the most attacked thing in the world. So I don't want you to go turn to men. That's not what I'm saying. I want you to just humble yourself, talk to the Creator. I used to think it was crazy. I thought I was real woke too. I used to think aliens were real. I used to think I was agnostic. Oh, I'm a god. Right? We're all gods. You know, all this nonsense. I used to think like that too. I'm real woke. I know there are aliens. Okay, there are no aliens, okay, because the Earth is contained. You can't leave here. No one's ever been to space. No one ever will go to space. It's very simple. And if you think that they did go to space, you're blind believing the government, the same government that took over last year, in case you guys weren't here. Government doesn't care about you. They look at you like a statistic. That's why I don't want you to know the Creator, because you become much more powerful, right? And you can even prove this scientifically. Your body has light in it. You have a pineal gland. During spiritual experiences, the light activity in your brain under a CT scan lights up like a Christmas tree. It goes crazy. How do you explain that? What's up with that? There's all kinds of light in your body. Science can't explain intuition, can't explain memories or dreams, right? They say there's nothing outside the material world. Whatever you see is all that there is. Okay, well, what about magnetism? What about electricity? What about electrostatics? Can you see all these things? What's up with that? How can I send radio waves through nothingness? There is something around you you can't see. It's the spiritual realm, the metaphysical realm, and it's scientifically the only viable option. Period. Now, they actually had to ignore this. Some people call it the ether. The scriptures call it the Hashemayim, the unseen existences, mistranslated to heaven typically with an idea of just above you, but anyway, I digress. Okay, this was thrown out. It's called the ether, the luminiferous ether. It was thrown out. Nikola Tesla, who gave us our entire electrical grid that we use to this day, knew the ether was real. But they threw it out because if the ether's there, the Earth cannot be a spinning ball that's revolving around the sun because of Michelson-Morley and Michelson-Gale experiments. Okay, and this was actually redone by the Air Force in 1987 with the same result. If you Google, it'll say they got a null result and it showed nothing. No, they said null result because they assumed the Earth was spinning and revolving and it wasn't what they expected. Long story short, there is energy drifts within an energy field around you that can't be seen to the naked eye, and it is scientifically provable. It's the only way. How do I shoot a laser through a vacuum? How does something propagate through nothing? How does it actually propagate more efficiently through nothing? Because there's a medium there. Okay, I'm not trying to get too technical, but the point is that there's a spiritual realm. You have a spirit, and you're connected to it. You don't answer to man. You don't answer to the government, which isn't even a man. It's an unidentified entity. It's like a word, the government. They don't give you rules. You answer to the Creator. And the Creator loves you. And specifically, Yeshua the Messiah was real. The most historically accurate figure to ever exist. Atheist historians admit that he existed, admit that he was crucified, admit that his tomb was empty. But you won't know that if you just Google it and say, did Jesus exist? There will actually be articles that claim he didn't. But his name wasn't Jesus, it was Yeshua. All right, but anyway, again, I don't want to get too much on that because you guys check out. Really, I prayed, I fasted. The thing for me is to show you guys that, look, you're special. The earth is the center of everything, and that means it had to be created. I want you to take your own journey from there. What you need to do is figure it out yourself. Don't turn to men. But I will tell you that when I humble myself and I talk to the Creator, He answered my prayers, yo. So if you want to tell me why He answered my prayers, I guess I'm a savant. I guess I have magical powers. I made my own prayers come true over and over. I gave myself signs in a 1,700-page book that just answered straight up, opened it straight up to the answer over and over and over. Now, the Creator loves you. He's not going to leave you hanging. You just got to humble yourself, right? So I just want whoever is supposed to hear that, hopefully they're around right now. The Creator loves you. And we're witnessing the biggest attack on your spirit in the history of mankind, where they now tell you that you have to be scared of the air, that actually your intrinsic ability to stay alive is actually a crime, that you now need their permission to buy, sell, and trade, and you're not allowed to go where they don't tell you can go, and after 10 o'clock the air gets really dangerous. Has anyone ever answered that logically? How come we have curfews? Is after 10 o'clock it gets really dangerous? And I can't get specific because I'll get kicked off YouTube. So I guess the air gets really dangerous, is really going to kill you after 10 o'clock. That's why we have curfews. No, we have curfews because that's what you give slaves. We have lockdowns because that's what they have in prison. You know, you get locked up in the pen, you chill in the pod, and you have a curfew. You got to go back to the cell for lockdown. Yeah, here's why we have curfews and lockdowns. They're making the world a prison. So you should wake up and stand up for the truth and rep the truth. Don't worry about what weak-minded people think. Intelligent people don't care what unintelligent people think. Informed people don't care what ignorant people think. Strong people don't care what weak people think. Ignorance finds contentment in the consensus of ignorance. Or actually, it's the weak. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. That was redundant. So there you go, guys. I just want you guys to wake up and understand you have lots of power. You can manifest things. You can intuitively know things are coming. You're very powerful, okay? The kingdom is within you, as in you have a piece of the creator within you. You're very powerful. You're not equated to the power of the creator, but you do have power. And I want you to know, their worst fear is that you realize that and you assert your power. You're special. You were created. You didn't come from apes. You're not just an ape that decided to talk and lose its hair. No, you're not on a tiny speck of dust where everything came from nothing and there's nothing special about you. There's the center of everything. Humans have domain on it, and we have spirits, and we're very powerful, and we can manifest things. If we come together and we assert our power, then they will not be able to accomplish what they're pulling off right now. If you keep on going to sleep and watching CNN and Fox News and like, I don't really care, I just want to get on TikTok and see small waist, pretty face with a big bang, gotta get some followers on the gram, what's going on in Snapchat, I don't know, but the NBA Finals is on. Oh man, what's going on? NBA, our NFL's about to start. Yay, let's go Packers. Let's go Cowboys. Cowboys are still gonna suck, bro. Just let it go. Okay? There are things more important than Polo G just dropped that heat, than when's Drizzy's new album coming out. What about Moneybag Yo? There are things more important than watching Netflix every day. Alright? Wake up and assert your power. Stop playing video games all day. It gives you a fight or flight. It desensitizes you. It corrodes your brain. Everything that they promote in society was meticulously crafted to weaken you, to lower your spiritual aura. Okay? Look him up. The ancient civilizations knew all of this. They were super advanced. Look at Egypt, super advanced. They knew that there was a spirit. They knew that you were powerful. So anyway, get right with Yah, through the mediator, Yeshua, and don't turn to men, because men are dumb. Religion sucks. But the creator's super powerful, and they're scared of him, bro. That's why I'm mob around the U.S., right? Not because I'm bad. It's because my creator's got my back. And that you can have that power, you can be free as well. And they cannot win if you assert your power. Certainly if you know it's spiritual and metaphysical. So wake up and stop sleepwalking while they start to literally suffocate children. And they get born into a slave state where they don't even know what freedom is. And they think it's normal because mommy and daddy told them the government tells us if we were allowed to hang out. That's just the way it is. Uh-oh. Did CNN say we could breathe today or not? Let me check. Yo, I'm such a G. I got a mask on because the government told me to. Like, guys, wake up. It's been 18 months, bro. They said 2 weeks. It's been 18 months, bro. Okay, 2 weeks was code for forever. Trust me on this one. Thank me later. Thank me later. So anyway, and just again, in case you guys hadn't heard it, they lied about the Earth. It's not a spinning ball in a vacuum. The Earth is flat. It doesn't move. It's contained. The sky resets for all recorded history over top of it. NASA didn't go to the moon in '69. NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. NASA gets $60 million a day. Admittedly brought Nazis over here, and that's who supposedly took us to the moon. And that's why they can't go to the moon. Admit they can't go back to the moon. They destroy the technology. It's a painful process to build it back. They just now push the moon missions back again and again and again. That's all they will ever do because you can't go there. So just so you know, they lied to you about what space is. It can't be a near perfect vacuum sitting next to pressure. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. You're breathing oxygen. At least some of you guys are. That's a gas pressure. You can't be sitting next to a vacuum. What they told you space is a lie. Literally a lie. You can't go to quote-unquote space. Stop looking up and reading fairy tales on Netflix about the lights in the sky. Okay? You're on the center of everything that exists. It's called the Earth. It's the center of everything that exists. It's geocentric. The sky just resets in perfect circles east to west over top of us for all recorded history, exactly the same, like it's a clock. All ancient civilizations knew this. The Egyptians built megalithic structures that still line up with the same stars they do today. How's that work? The Egyptians knew what the Earth was. The Hebrews knew what the Earth was. The Persians knew what the Earth was. The Vikings knew what the Earth was. You name any ancient civilization. Name any of them. They knew what the Earth was. It's only now that stupid, arrogant humans think that they're the intelligent ones because they believe what other people told them, specifically Nazis that worked with the government. So yeah, there you go. The reason that they lied is for tons of reasons. Why wouldn't they lie? That the Earth's the center of everything. That means it was created. If it was created, who's the creator? That means you were created. Just get right with them. It's a personal relationship, but then you become much more powerful. It's time we wake up. Most important time in history that people wake up. Jeez Louise. I'm talking so fast, I feel like. It's because people are walking by this location, so I'm like... Dude, you breathe. I'm actually out of breath.
Not really.
Only is most important. I can't wait for the next revolution. Like David White said, he wants just to be. Oh,
Someone said, bro, NASA's honest, huh? Okay.
yeah, but a guy just...
This is for the new Glober trolls that are on the channel. Hey, how do you shoot radio waves 10,000 miles on a globe Earth if they assume a flat Earth to propagate over and they hit their target using line of sight? Yeah, you chew on that one. First radio waves ever sent was by Marconi. He tried to send them 2,000 miles using line of sight, assuming the Earth was flat. His detractor said, you'll never be able to send that. It'll get blocked by the curvature of the Earth at 200 miles. Well, guess what happened? He hit the target exactly where it was supposed to, 2,200 miles away, first attempts. We now send radio waves over 10,000 miles. In fact, the U.S. military has a document declassified. It's called Electromagnetic Propagation Over a Flat Earth, and that's in the 2000s, whenever they were actually developing ground weapon systems, towers, to use as weapon systems and use electromagnetic propagation. They assumed the Earth was flat, more specifically a dielectric plane. It's literally called Electromagnetic Propagation Over a Flat Earth, government declassified military website. Uh-oh. This is weird. This is awkward. I guess the government's just trolling and they're spending billions of dollars on technology for weaponry that wouldn't work. Every time the government has to go get the bad guy, which is usually just someone that opposed centralized banking systems from the Rothschilds, then I guess they wouldn't be able to find them unless they assumed the Earth was flat, but they're just doing it to troll you low-key with declassified documents they know you won't read because it's heavily censored. The only way they can find the bad guys or use any type of mapping system is to assume the Earth is flat. The only way they can fly planes is to assume the Earth is flat. The only way they can use ballistic missiles is to assume the Earth is flat. And this is their own documents. So the military says the Earth's flat. But NASA told you they went to space, so you don't have to worry about physical evidence. Who cares about that? I mean, you can physically measure the surface of the Earth. It doesn't curve anywhere. We've seen mountains from 273 miles away. The globe Earth map dictates that they were blocked by 3 miles, yet we saw the entire mountains from 300 miles away. How's that work on the globe Earth? Doesn't matter. Just make fun of this guy. It makes me smart. If I just laugh at him, I'm now smart. I don't have to know anything. I can be super ignorant, and that makes me right. So how did I see the skyline of Chicago from 60 miles away if the globe Earth says the entire skyline should have been blocked? 60 miles away across Lake Michigan, you can see the entire skyline of Chicago. It's actually a frequent occurrence. How we see mountains from 103 miles away, 223 miles away, 273 miles away, 253 miles away. This is getting weird. How do we have a foot observation where we're 1 foot off the surface of the Earth and we see the horizon with 10 miles and the globe Earth says it can be no further than 1 mile? Uh-oh. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I've been all around the United States, and no one ever answers this question. If a lady's pregnant and she moves her hand over her stomach to the bottom of her stomach, can she see her hand? No, because her stomach's physically curving and blocking her hand. Well, that's what the Earth has to do if it's a ball. So why did I see mountains from 273 miles away when the globe Earth math says that there should be 3-mile curvature blocking the mountains? Do you guys know how long a mile is? Well, how about 3 of them vertically obstructing your view of mountains from 300 miles away, and yeah, we could see them. No big deal. We have an observation where the top of the mountain should be hidden by a mile of Earth curvature. This is weird. They lied about the Earth. So if the Earth is flat in Tennessee and in Florida and New York and in California and Louisiana and in Japan and China and everywhere else in the world, then where is it curving? If 70% of the surface of the Earth is flat, water, and everywhere we measure the Earth is flat, the only way we can measure the Earth is to assume it's flat. That's how we have maps. Then where is it a ball? If the surface of the Earth isn't curving anywhere, what is it? Do you know there's no experiment in the history of mankind that's ever proved the Earth is moving? You know why? Because the Earth's not moving. You know why you don't feel like you're moving right now? Because you're not moving. The Earth's not moving unless you're chugging tequila. And then you're going to get the spins. That's the only time the Earth spins, bro. And you're going to have to throw your feet back on the ground to stop spinning when you lay down and get the spins because the Earth doesn't move. Interesting. If I throw a baseball up, it comes back down. If I hover a drone right here, it stays there. How come whenever volcanoes erupt and there's tons and tons of smoke coming up, they just perfectly rise right above it? It should change, just like whenever a train has smoke trailing behind it. But no, the smoke just slowly rises perfectly right above the volcano. How's that work if they were spinning 1,000 miles per hour east of the equator? Interesting. So we're spinning 1,040 miles per hour. I'll say this too, because I'm just like on one tonight. Jeez Louise. I know I'm talking fast, but you guys are walking by. Consume the information. Take the red pill. Actually, don't take drugs and pills from creepy people in trench coats. So let's see if this is just a coincidence. Okay, so you can't be a Freemason in the 33rd degree unless you know the earth is flat. The G stands for many things in the symbol, if you've ever seen the Freemasonic symbol. One of the things the G stands for is geometria. That's measurement of the earth. And that's why there's a square and a compass, because that's how you measure a flat earth. You're not allowed in the 33rd degree unless you know this stuff. Okay, you also have to know that you're a Luciferian. You ever heard of Lucifer? So they believe that collectively they are Lucifer, collective enlightenment. The sun is the perfect embodiment of illumination and enlightenment. Okay, so they are literally Luciferians. They adhere to the Luciferian doctrine. Well, if you've ever heard of Lucifer, then you've heard of the number 666. Okay, so let's see how many times 666 is coincidentally in this globe Earth Y that you guys think I'm crazy for not believing in. So supposedly the North and South Arctic circles are a 66.6 degree latitude. Supposedly, the circumference of the Earth in nautical miles is 21,600. That's 6 times 6 times 600. Supposedly, the Earth's on a 66.6 degree tilt, going around the sun 66,600 miles per hour, utilizing gravity, which is number 6.66, which was discovered in 1666 by Isaac Newton. And these are just coincidences. The curvature rate of the Earth is 0.666 feet per mile squared. Just a coincidence. The solar milling eclipse where you see the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time debunking the globe was supposedly first recorded in, you guessed it, 1666. You guys are coincidence theorists if you think that all of that repetitively stacked up coincidentally with sixes. They had to stamp their number on it. It's natural law. They had to show you who did what they did. Hence there being a snake tongue through NASA's logo, and NASA means to lift up and to deceive in Hebrew. Wake up. Wake up. Does the government lie? Yeah, of course the government lies. Then why do you believe NASA? Oh, NASA's the exception. NASA wouldn't lie. Yeah, they would. That's all they do. That's literally what their name means. To deceive. So wake up. Once again, they supposedly say that the curvature rate of the Earth is 0.666 feet per mile squared. They supposedly say the North and South Arctic circles are at 66.6 degree latitudes. They supposedly say that we're spinning 66,600 miles per hour around the sun. They supposedly say that we're on a 66.6 degree tilt, utilizing gravity, which number 6.66, discovered by Isaac Newton in 1666. Get out of here, bro. That's dumb.
I thought shit like that. Now what the fuck is he?
Appreciate you, bro. I tagged you on a Facebook post. Please check it out if you get a chance. All right, I'll check it out, bro. Brandon Smart, thank you very much, man, for the super chat. Much love, bro. Dun 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 dun. Charge. I wonder if this Space Needle was predictive programming because the aliens are come bring us some medical intervention to save us. No, they would never predictively program you. Stay strong, brother. Of course, bro. Much love, QE. Obviously a legend. It's light bending. Interesting story, bro. Hey, why is everyone wearing masks? Did something happen? Does anyone know what's going on? You guys are scaring me. Why is everyone wearing masks? Are we going in for surgery? Did something happen? This is weird. Oh, y'all are still doing that? Just 2 weeks, we'll get back to normal. 2 weeks. 2 more weeks.
Patrolling and protecting the fields.
You got this, bro. Thank you, Brody, for the super chat, man. Did something happen? That's like my favorite. You guys got anything you want me to say real fast? I'll say it, and I'm probably wrap it up for too long, or at least take a break. See what the charge is. I mean, we got 44%. We're good. Do we have that? Do we have a light?
Clown World.
Clown World. In a world where no one knows what the world is, they think they're spinning and revolving and gyrating through space, but they can never fill it. And if the sky resets for all recorded history, coincidentally, but it's just an optical effect, and that the sun is actually 400 times bigger than the moon, it just coincidentally looks like it's exactly the same size because it's also 400 times further away at the same time. In a world where people think level means curved, and if you think horizon coming from the word horizontal is because the horizon's horizontal, then you're a conspiracy theorist. Where gamma males run wild, and now oxygen that keeps you alive is now the boogeyman. And if you don't obey the government, then you're a bad guy. But if you are obedient and you go in like a good slave past your curfew, then you have a virtual high ground where now you can virtue signal. Yay! In a world where no one realizes that free countries don't have curfews and lockdowns, who will prevail? Tune in next year, because they said 2 weeks and it's been 18 months. In a world where people just want to look at TikTok and talk about small waist, pretty face, and a big bang, and they're just trying to get followers on the gram. No one cares that literally their children are being born into a slave state that will no longer know what freedom is, as they're being brainwashed to be scared of the air, and they haven't seen mommy and daddy's face in 18 months. In a world where no one cares that they're building a new world order. Yeah, I'm just like trolling at this point, bro. If we don't have one, it's no big deal. I just know it's getting dark. Huh?
Well, things like that, we have to do money put in. Because
Yeah, shout out to QE, he's a legend, bro. Distortion sounds terrible. Does it? Yeah, has it always sounded bad this whole time? He's covering the microphone, can't hear. Oh, sorry. In a world where no one knows what the world is, who will prevail? In a world where people are still scared of the air 18 months after they said just 2 weeks. In a world where the slaves don't know they're slaves and they go in for curfews and lockdowns like prisons while simultaneously believing that they live in a free country. All hail Biden. He said we can breathe oxygen. Oh, never mind.
all the government spending,
Yeah, in a world where no one knows what the world is, who will prevail as it gets really scary because now the air is mutating. Oh man, I might have to cut it off to do some of this. In a world where experimental dates end in 2023, and that's how you know beforehand that something's safe. I see some crazy people out there. You are so rebellious. You're out there breathing. Are you guys breathing? Jeez Louise. Are you? How dare you? How dare you breathe? How dare you? The earth can't be flat because if the earth was flat, then everybody would fall off of it. Can you believe people think the earth is flat? We went to the moon in '69, damn it. Us boomers went to the moon. I was personally there practically. What have you done, millennial? The earth can't be flat because NASA goes to space, dummy. The earth can't be flat because if the earth was flat, I'd see Mount Everest from Los Angeles. Duh. I'd be able to see forever if the earth was flat. The earth can't be flat because if the earth was flat, the sun would light up the entire earth at the same time. Duh. No, the sun's much smaller and more local and has a radius of light called attenuation, and it just moves over top of the earth locally. So that's incorrect. Nuh-uh, the sun is actually 93 million miles away and really, really big. Well, no, that's just the model that claims that it's a ball, and they've changed the distance like 6 times in the last 100 years just to fudge the numbers to try to explain how the Earth could be a ball. Well, what about other planets? If the Earth was flat, it'd be just a flat disk in the solar system with a whole bunch of spherical planets. Dummy. Well, no, the quote-unquote planets are just lights in the sky. That's what the etymology means, wonder. It's a wandering light. They all just move over top of the Earth, bro. Well, everyone would fall off the Earth if it was flat. No, the Earth is contained by something called Antarctica. Yep. There's an ice ring around you, and the world's governments have all decided you're not allowed to go there. The Earth can't be flat, because how would earthquakes work? How do pancakes work on a flat Earth? The Earth can't be flat. How would that fountain work on a flat Earth? Actually, that fountain would only work on a flat Earth, and as you can tell, all the water's finding its level. So, I'm not sure what your question is. That debunks the globe right there. The Earth can't be flat. How could gravity work on a flat Earth? Gravity is just a theory that's never been proven. That was literally come up just to explain how the Earth could be a ball. It's called the theory of relativity. So, No, we don't. Gravity's irrelevant. Oh, you don't believe in gravity? You're one of those guys. You don't believe in gravity? I know gravity's real. I could drop that microphone right out your hand and prove gravity, you stupid flat earther. Well, no, the microphone's more dense than the surrounding air and finds its equilibrium by falling down. When I let go of a helium balloon, it goes up because it's less dense than the surrounding air. So is the helium balloon gravity proof? You're dumb. What's up, guys? We're wrapping it up because it's getting dark. My whole country voice routine, I can't really say what I want to say because I'll get kicked off.
Hey, you got another fan here.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna catch up with you guys. Is that a squirrel?
Rabbit.
Rat.
Oh, it's a rabbit.
Was that a rat or a rabbit?
It's a rabbit.
Straight speaking to the air. Oh, in a world where we have globe zealots that are actually anti-flat earthers, stalk flat earthers' content while simultaneously claiming that they're stupid. As you guys know, we checked the air. It's still good. You don't got to be scared of it. Thank me later. Thank me later.
Get on that gram.
Yeah. Just send me a DM. You can thank me that way. We checked the air for you, bro. Don't even worry. I'll do it again. Your lifetime. Yeah, it's still good, bro. You guys are making this really awkward. I'm such a G, bro. I'm such a G. Look at the walk, bro. I got the lip. I'm a G, bro. I'm such a G that I wear what the government tells me to. How do you have pressure sitting next to a vacuum if the necessary antecedent to pressure is a container? It's actually in the word pressure. Pressure presses on the walls of a container. Gas pressure is the energy or force exerted on the walls of a container. The second law of thermodynamics dictates that it will spontaneously seek equilibrium. So how could you have pressure next to a vacuum? It's called a gradient, you stupid flat earther. That's a non sequitur because that is delta x, the change in x. We're talking about x. How do you have a gas pressure? Yeah, we have a gas pressure gradient, but the only way you can have a gas pressure gradient is to have gas pressure. So how do you have the gas pressure? It doesn't matter because there's a gradient, you stupid flat earther. If I go to the top of Mount Everest, there ain't as much pressure up there. Yeah, but there's still pressure, right? Well, how's there pressure? How can there be a near-perfect vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torr sitting next to an atmosphere, which is a stupid term, because there is no sphere and gases don't have inherent shapes. How do you have gas pressure sitting next to a vacuum? Don't feel bad, though. Astrophysics professors can't answer this question either, nor can the aerospace engineers, layman terms, rocket scientists. That's right, they can't answer this question. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. They may invoke gravity, wherein which I just have to intellectually eviscerate them, because according to your own model, if I grant you gravity at the surface level, where it's the strongest, because gravity is the strongest closest to the center of mass, if I let it go of gas, it will go in any and all directions, spontaneously seeking equilibrium. Any and all directions includes up, which is the opposite of down, so gravity supposedly has a singular vector of down relative to the center of a ball, but gas goes directly up in the face of gravity, which shows you that gravity doesn't stop gas from going in all directions, so how's it going to stop it next to a vacuum hundreds of miles up where gravity's weaker? It can't. Game over. Alright guys, how do you know that there's a curvature of the Earth if you never actually see it? Because it's called the geometric horizon. There has to be a geometric horizon or physical, tangible, actual location of Earth curvature if the Earth's a ball. It has to physically block your view, like a hill or a pregnant lady's stomach, but we never see it. So if we never see it, how do you know it's there? Well, you couldn't have a horizon without a geometric horizon. That's not true. Horizon is where the sky appears to meet the ground. It constantly fluctuates. Just like if you're standing at the end of a long hallway, it looks like there's sky and the ground are coming together, but no, they're not. It's just you can't see forever. Where's the curvature of the Earth? If the Earth's a ball and it's not curving anywhere, how's it a ball? How do I see mountains 300 miles away? If there's 3 miles of Earth curvature, that's supposed to be blocking the mountains. Doesn't matter. We just got to call this guy names. Makes the Earth a ball. How do lighthouses work on a ball? Are waterfalls actually tilted backwards going upside down? That's crazy, bro. I was just at Niagara Falls. I can guarantee you that that waterfall wasn't tilted backwards upside down. How does an airplane land on a runway that's spinning 1,000 miles per hour east? So if it's going the opposite direction of the Earth's spin, what happens the moment that the plane's wheels hit the runway and it's spinning the opposite way? Is it going forward or backwards? It's going forward and backwards simultaneously. That plane would literally be ripped into a million pieces. You can't land on a runway spinning 1,000 miles per hour. It's why all the pilots I know, which are dozens and dozens of them, including military pilots, they all say, well, Yeah, I mean, when you're in a plane, you assume the Earth is flat, you assume the Earth's not moving, you'll never see the curvature from the plane. Most people will say, I've seen the curvature from the plane. No, you didn't. Neil deGrasse Tyson, world-famous scientist, quote-unquote scientist, is actually just a clown show, pseudo-scientist, scientific communicator, which is, he's just a goober. But anyway, so what he says is, you would never see the curvature of the Earth from 128,000 feet. You wouldn't even see the curvature from like 50 miles. You'd be 2 millimeters above this beach ball, 2 millimeters above this schoolroom globe. You would never see the curvature of the Earth at that height. So when people say they see the curvature from 35,000 feet in a commercial flight, it's just patently false. And don't worry, all the commercial pilots I know agree with me. They have to assume the Earth is flat. The gyro has to have rigidity in space, assuming a flat, non-rotating surface underneath them. You can read NASA's own website. When they engineer planes and rockets, they assume a flat, non-rotating surface. You can look at the FFA documents. They train pilots assuming a flat, non-rotating surface. Whenever they put them in simulators, it assumes a flat, non-rotating surface, negating the quote-unquote gravity vector. So how do planes work on a spinning ball? Uh-oh. This is getting awkward. Better call them names again. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Look. I know it sounds crazy to tell you that the Earth is flat. You've been engineered to hear that someone says the Earth is flat, to think they're stupid. You've seen cartoons of people falling off, right? But you don't know why you really believe what you believe. You've never researched it. You don't know any of the information. I just encourage you to look into it. I know that I may come off a bit, what people say aggressive, really I'm just assertive. But I'm trying to break through your cognitus. Right? Like I'm trying to wake you up. Because I know that when you first hear that the Earth could be flat or someone thinks the Earth's flat, you're going to immediately think I'm crazy. You're like, this guy's a psychopath. I get it. That's why I'm trying to break through to you. I'm talking kind of fast because you guys are walking by. I'm trying to give you lots of information because I want something to land with you. Google satellites. They're just cartoons. They're not real. They're called satelloons. Even if the word things in the sky doesn't prove the Earth's a ball. Okay, so look up star trails. Time lapse of the star trails. They always say around Polaris. Just look up this stuff. Look up 200 proofs the Earth is not a spinning ball. Go to your iPhone, type in flat Earth, and there will be an app that pops up called Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Clock Zodiac app. If you look at it, it costs a couple bucks. It's because tons of globe people that are super mad the Earth's not a ball just started spamming the 1 star. But anyway, go to that app. Go to the Flat Earth app. You can type it in your Android phone or in your iPhone, right? My homie Dave Weiss has this app. And if you go to the question mark section, every question you can think of will be answered. In fact, it shows you where the sun and the moon are over the flat Earth at any point in time at any location. Shows you how everything works. It also takes you to the videos that are heavily censored because the reason I'm traveling the United States, had to put my business on pause, had to turn down a 6-figure job offer because I wouldn't stop talking about flat Earth, is because this is heavily censored. And honestly, this is the craziest censorship I've ever seen over the last 18 months where you can't even read medical journals anymore or you'll literally get kicked off the internet. Okay, so now is the time that we come together and we stand up for free speech, which I actually just got arrested for, literally free speech in Mount Rushmore, standing in front of the founding fathers. I wasn't allowed to freely speak because now in America, you need a permit in a free speech zone or you can't speak. We're watching the death of free information. Okay, so Congress came out and admitted that they censor flat Earth, and they call it dangerous misinformation. The truth is, they don't want you to be able to hear this information. They want to tell you what we think, and they can lie about it and make us look stupid, so now you can just hear flat Earth and you can just say that I'm stupid. Well, believe it or not, lots of people with genius IQs across the world that went and measured the Earth and studied it for years and years aren't stupid. Names don't dismiss evidence.
Amen.
So let's just look into what the truth is, man. Look into it. I know it's a lot of info, but we need to come together, right? It's the human race. We need to come together, stand up for our children, for freedom of information, freedom of expression, but we don't have it anymore. America does not have curfews. America does not have lockdowns. America does not have government-enforced dress codes. That's not how this works. That's not what my friends died for. And if you're triggered, feel free to stay on the sideline. You're the person that wouldn't have sacrificed anything. The children need to be left out of your cowardice. The news is run by the CIA, the biggest trafficker of drugs in the world. Stop watching the news. Wake up and think for yourself. Read a book or something. Go download the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Clock app. If you want to come up here, I know it's probably pretty embarrassing for people to come up here, but we have QR codes. We have business cards with QR codes. You can scan it. It'll take you to the app, take you to our website and stuff. It's the only way you'll probably find us. Also, that app will take you to the heavily censored YouTube videos that have been deleted or removed and re-uploaded. You could type in perfectly and you won't find them. You can type in girl dressed half naked twerking and you'll find it immediately though. You can type in someone streaming for 8 straight hours playing a video game, you'll find it. But God forbid, Yah forbid, that you try to look up something that's actually important. Go to your phone, type in Flat Earth. If you're not scared, then take the Flat Earth Challenge. Watch that video. Every morning, Dave puts a new video up that's short on the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Clock app. Watch the video every day for 2 weeks. If you think you can come back with the proof the Earth's a ball, Dave Weiss will give you 2 Bitcoins. 2 Bitcoins. So go look up the price of a Bitcoin. If you can prove the Earth's a ball, after watching every video uploaded for 2 weeks on the Flat Earth Clock app, you win 2 Bitcoins. That's a pretty good piece of change. Also, if you can prove that water will adhere to a sphere on the outside of it while it spins, if you can demonstrate it, you win $1 million. $1 million reward. So there you go. It looks like you guys can really make some really good money showing how stupid we are. I just encourage you to look at it. If you're not scared of truth, if you're an honest person, look at it. I know it's heavy. I know it can be intense. Right? Because this has implications that everyone's lying to you. I understand. Right? But it's okay. The government's lie. It's what they always do. That's intrinsically the job description of the government, is to lie. Compartmentalization, need-to-know basis, national security purposes. Of course they lie. That's what their job description is. Government means control your mind. So break free from the chains of enslavement, and this is mental enslavement. Just wake up. Just research it. All right, and once again, guys, the government doesn't give you permission to breathe oxygen. We should stand up for our children before we live in a slave state and before they never know what freedom is. I don't want to get too reiterative, but please stand up before it's too late. Please stop folding and capitulating to totalitarian orders. Because America used to be known for the ones that went into other countries to stop communism, and now we are a communist country. We're watching totalitarian orders from the top down, and no one even cares or thinks it's weird. And no, it's not about Republican or Democrat, because they both did it. Yeah, politics is a lie. Right and left, red and blue. Red and blue makes purple. That's the color of royalty. So wake up before it's too late. They're trying to keep you divided. Every U.S. president's related and tracks back to English royalty. And Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are such enemies that she was on the second row of his wedding. You should wake up. It's all just a stupid little puppet show to keep you mad and think that you're woke because you can regurgitate your side of the news. They all work together. Fortune 500 companies, they fund the Democrats and Republicans both. So wake up before it's too late. For your children's sake. And again, they're going to come back with lockdowns because they need a state of emergency. Can't get too specific. But you need to stand up and you need to refuse to support businesses that force totalitarian orders from the top down. And we need to stand together. And if they threaten employment, you need to refuse to capitulate. You have freedoms that are protected to you by the Constitution, starting with the first one. You don't have to fold to any of that. I can't get too specific. If we stand together, we win. And divided, we fall. Peace out. I tried, man. I think they're zombies. All right, so people come up here. I think we're going to kick it with them. A couple flat earthers over here. Fortune 500 companies funding both the Republican and Democrats. Yeah, that's the BOB quote. You're right. In case you were wondering. Fortune 500 companies be funding the Democrats and Republicans, in case you were wondering. All right, my phone's going to die anyway. Geopolitically, we're in the field. Yeah, but I can't really play it with this speaker. I'll spit it a cappella to end the stream. I love you guys. Shout out to everyone. Hike up Pike Place. Hit up Pike Place. That's what everyone's telling me. We're going to go tomorrow. Where are you next? We're going to go to, I think Pike Place is where they like sell fish or whatever, right? It's like the downtown Bill Market. Great as always. Thank you, Jack. Hear you, brother. Excellent work, Austin. Thank you, Whiskey Shaman. Thanks for the support. Awesome as always. Thank all you guys for the love. I'll spit the freestyle, I guess, but it's obviously not a freestyle anymore. So I'll spit that and then I'll do a little closing. I can't play the song, so. Geopolitically, we're in the field for Israel. I wonder, is it real? Rappers are actors. They say they're getting high to sip with pills, glorify suicide so they can get the deals. Big Pharma set it up just to flip the pills, control the music industry until the scripts get filled. So they took the way you saw the world and distorted it, and now you think you want to rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. The theory's disproportionate. The truth will get distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force and miss. Info we absorb and quick. Took the people's signature, extorted it. Now they forging it. If you think who's informants, who's informing them? There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy, mortgages, dollar that's supported with, empty fortresses. What's important is this: we port in ships, important gifts. Of course it is what extortion is. In accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks, we ignore which informant this, informant this. It looks like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia in the government endorsing it. Eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilified those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer. That's unfortunate. All right, that's all I got for you guys. All right. Can you even really hear it over there? No.
That was this speaker.
Trash. All right. I love you guys. I try to kind of keep that where I can pronunciate the words.
Dude, they won't even let you in there without me now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I went in there and
Well, I'm sure that's okay to say, but yeah. All right, bro. I love you guys. I'm gonna catch up with you. I'm gonna catch up with these guys that came up here. Yeah, seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. Intelligent people don't care what dumb people think. Strong people don't care what weak people think. Informed people don't care what ignorant people think. And actually, they're going to revile you, but rejoice when they revile you for His name's sake, for they did it to all the prophets before you. If you want to support the Torah, $Witsit Gets It. Witsit at protonmail.com on PayPal, and masqueradetour.com, masqueradetour.com. Also, we should have the merch in the description, but maybe not on the mobile. I don't know yet. We're going to get the website updated. We're going to drop a bunch more designs on the merch stores. I don't make much money on that. It's the easiest way just to get y'all high quality clothes. I really just want y'all to get the word out there about wearing the stuff. And I got a lot of designs in case you guys like it. Flattoberfest, I'll be there October 22nd to the 24th in South Carolina. I will be at Flattoberfest. You should go. Don't be lame. There you go. Shout out to Karen B. FlatEarthFestivals.com if you want to get tickets. She always sets it up. Title of the song, In the Field. I'm gonna get some music on Apple and all that, and then drop a new. Probably drop an album eventually or a mixtape, and then a few songs. We're gonna have a new intro song. We got a lot of stuff in the works. I just had to chill out and recharge. I love you guys. I know that it's dark. And at Jack's house, I'll talk to you about it in private, bro. Just Jack. All right, so I'll catch up with you guys on the flip side like a coin toss. And don't fold to people. People are lame. This is the most important time that we stand together and we get the truth out there and we speak the truth and plant the seeds. Much love, bro. See you tomorrow. I can make the drive. Awesome, man. Maybe email me. We'll link up, but I'll try and keep an update either on Facebook or Instagram if you have me on that as to when we're going to go. But also maybe email me. I'm going to catch up with these guys. We're going to go probably during the day. I guess Pike Place. A lot of people have told me that, and do activism tomorrow. Peace out. Much love.